Can't believe I still got gas in here. What? I may be running out sometime soon, so hopefully I'll try and save a little bit. It's actually not that bad out here. Feels like spring is not far away. Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I'm back up here. I didn't know I was going to be here today, but we had a little bit of a family crisis that came up, and everything's looking better at the moment, and so on. So I appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers and everything of what's going on. It's been a rough couple of weeks here, it just really has been. But be that as it may, thank you all, because all of you guys are what keeps me going and so on. Right now, we're hearing that Micah Parsons deal, or at least this is the rumors. The rumors being spread about me and the crew about something we did or were supposed to do. You might not have heard it, or maybe you laugh. When I first heard it, all I did was laugh. I used to get angry and all uptight. You can say what you want to spell my name right. Okay. Anyway, there you go. A big mouth, Houdini. Anyway, we're hearing rumors that Micah Parsons' deal may be close from his brother, Terrence Parsons, okay? If it's not true, well, everybody's running with it, because now all the talking heads are following up behind it. And shout out to Cowboy Attack, because Attack was the first one, to jump on it. You start talking about it. And then everybody else started checking behind it, saying, oh shit, there might be something to this. And if it is true, you now have to say this is a different Dallas Cowboy team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have not had a Dallas Cowboy team do any of this stuff that they're doing right now. Let's recap here, because it seems like, it was eons ago, but we just got Osa Ndigizua signed. And not only signed, we had thought he was going to be franchise tagged, which was $25 million, but they signed him to a $20 million contract. It was actually a team-friendly deal. It's really getting close to being over, because I can smell the propane. When the propane gets low, it starts to smell. So I may not have much time. But they got Osa Ndigizua signed before free agency to a team-friendly deal. We signed the shoots. I think we've signed 19 players of our own and free agents. Now, mind you, we haven't had the big names that everybody wants to go. We heard that Cooper Kupp was being recruited by Dak and CD to come here, but the contract price is too high. And I have to say, for what Cooper Kupp's been doing the last 3 years, that I have to agree that price number in those many years is too high. I just think that that's just too much. Although, when you look at the numbers, how much the salary cap has grown, it might not have been that bad, but still, we don't know. But truly, we need another wide receiver. You look at Washington now with 2 stud wide receivers. You look at the Eagles, we got one. And we got CD and Dak out there, trying to bring home, help negotiate for the Cowboys. If Micah Parsons is true to his word where he said he doesn't have to be the highest paid, one, he's probably going to get more money than what he was thinking when he said that, because at the time, the highest paid non-quarterback was $35 million. $35 million, Justin Jefferson. But since then, the highest paid is now $5.25 million higher. So what he said a month or 2 ago, or 2 months ago, about that is actually raised up. So in his mind, he might be thinking, I'm going to say that, and I'll get, probably get 36. Well, he can get 40 and still end up being, the hero. But understand, all of our big players are Dak Prescott got his contract season opener last year. CeeDee Lamb got his after extended holdout in training camp or after training camp. Zach Martin, holding in, got his midway through training camp. Zeke Elliott went to freaking Cabo and got his after training camp. D-Law had to literally hold him hostage by saying, I'm not getting my shoulder worked on until I get my contract. For the Cowboys to get Micah Parsons done, if it is getting done next day or two or three, in the second week of free agency? Are you kidding me? They don't do that. That's not what they do. And if they do it, and they have gotten Osa aside, they've ended up making trades for linebackers. They've gotten rotational players, like Solomon Thomas for the defensive line. They ended up bringing back, actually, for us, I would say the biggest free agent since Greg Hardy and Dante Fowler. They let their coaching staff go to the combine and look at the players and interact with their scouting department on who to draft. The head coach was able to pick his coaches. This is not the Dallas Cowboys that we know. This is a Cowboys team that seems to have some sense of urgency, or at least recognizes we've been fucking up for years and it's time to do something different. It's about time. It'd been nice if we woke up and say 20 years ago and said we need to do something different. But we had Dak Prescott because things that we have looked at and we just said, yeah, that'll never happen. Like I said, the Osa, Micah Parsons saying, I'd like to get my deal done early. I'd like to get Osa back and so on. That some of these things have actually come true. You may not have liked the Brian Schottenheimer hire at first, but that ushered in a new chapter for how the Dallas Cowboys are doing their business. It's not the same old that we usually have. And it's crazy to think that they may get Micah Parsons done. They may have gotten Dante Fowler in the building, that they've got Osa and Digazua signed, and they could still have over $50 million still to work with. And right now, you got a lot of teams that have already gone through and blown their wad, right? Now the money, the dollars are coming down for some of the players that are still standing, because you had the big sweep with all the big players. Now the money starts going down with the guys that are left, and also you have guys that will be expendable because of the draft, and the Cowboys potentially have set themselves up for 3 comp picks for next year. So they're still in a position that they could not have to deal with next year big contracts. They could get Deron Bland. They can get Tyler Smith done this year. And still make other moves to try and improve the roster. And still have the draft, of course, next month, where you got 3 picks in the top 100. That ain't bad. I would like to have my 4th round pick that we used on Jonathan Mingo, but, it is what it is. You have to be, with the Cowboys being selectively aggressive, understand, this is more work than they typically do, it seems like, all summer long. With them being selectively aggressive, maybe you should be cautiously optimistic about the Cowboys. So we're going to keep track, keep listening, and see if it's announced anytime soon that Micah Parsons' deal is done. It's unbelievable. So, with that being said, I'm tired, boss. I'm real tired. And tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I may be on the Dan Salio show tomorrow. Depends on how something goes, how it's scheduled tomorrow. I got to do the walk of shame on there, and so we'll see what we gonna see. Yeah, that's where we are. So the last few weeks have really brought home losing my father-in-law, Poppy. And my own father getting out of the hospital about a week and a half ago. Not that I don't know it already, but how precious life is and how quickly time flies. I can remember being 5 years old and going camping with my parents and my brothers and sisters at Point Lookout. Point Lookout is where the Potomac River meets the Chesapeake Bay, and I can remember the big tent that we had there and the campsites, because it was on the water, that we had a campsite that was right there on the water, and having chicken necks and being there with my dad and my brothers and everything else, and you take the chicken neck and you throw it into the water, and you had it on a string and a stick, and you had your crabbing net, so you slowly pull that chicken neck in, and hopefully you got a crab or two that's holding on to it, and when you get it close, you scoop it up, put it in the basket. I can remember those things. I can't remember what kind of car it was, but my dad had this red convertible car. And wherever my dad went, I was in that car riding. And that was back before you had seatbelts. And I can remember when he slammed on the brakes, boom, that arm would go and punch you in the chest to hold your ass in the seat. And it was convertible, because if you were in an accident, you could be flying right out the car. Somehow, we all survived without airbags and everything like that. And we didn't get lost, even though we didn't have GPS. And I can remember my dad, who worked for the Postal Service, him going to work, because he worked sometimes at night. And it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he was going to work. And I got in my mind that I'm supposed to go, whenever that car moves, I'm supposed to be in it. And my dad was going to work, and I was on the porch, and I remember crying, I want to be with Dad, I want to be with Dad, I want to go with Dad. And that was the last time I went riding. For quite a while. My dad was like, I'm going to work. Your ass is going to be crying. You ain't going to be riding no more. That's how we fix this. Great memories. And I can remember those things like they were yesterday. But all that stuff happened like 50 plus years ago. And I can't believe that much time has gone by. But it has. And that's why you can't waste time on stupid shit or stupid people. Because before you know it, you're going to be an old ass and your time's going to be up. And you're lucky if you get to be an old ass. Some of us, our time is up way too soon. So stop wasting time. I've been so blessed to spend time with my kids. My daughter, Michaela, has done a couple of videos where she was down at the Red Brick House and I'm cooking a whole bunch of chicken and stuff for her and joking with her and things, or going to the Afton Tunnel and things, and her cooking cookies, helping her with her apartment and putting together her IKEA shit, which I hate. And watching those videos and things just made me feel so much joy about being able to let my people know how much I care about them and being part of their lives. You don't want to miss out on those kinds of things. So make sure the people you love know how you feel about them and make memories with them. I love you guys. And I hope to see you tomorrow.